Hi there, welcome to the second benchmark in our Pangea project. In the first benchmark, we talked all about Alfred Wegener's theory on continental drift. Now, Alfred Wegener based his theory on three main pieces of evidence. He had evidence from things he could see on Earth's surface. He knew about landforms, fossil, and climate. Now, in this second benchmark, we're now going to investigate some evidence that didn't come out until after Alfred Wegener's death. And these are some things that you might want to consider using in your letter at the end of the project to help Alfred Wegener with modern evidence. So, what's inside Earth? I want you to think before we start this lesson how scientists have created a model of all these layers inside of Earth. Okay? No one's ever been past the crust of the Earth. No one's ever been inside the Earth, yet somehow we have a model of the crust, mantle, and core. So we have four main regions, and we'll look at some more specific parts or layers in a bit. But we have the crust, which is the thinnest outer layer. Think of the skin of an apple. It's super, super thin compared to the rest of the apple. We have the mantle, which is kind of a semi-liquid, molten, hot place. And then we have an outer core and an inner core. So we're going to discuss how scientists found out that these layers existed, having never been there. If you have a minute, I suggest pausing this video and going to this MrParr video. It's excellent. It's called Crust, Mantle, Cores, and it will give you a little bit more insight into the layers. Now, this is a really cool video. This is a video that I've shown every year. It's called Drilling to the Mantle. And to this date, no one still has drilled to the mantle. No one has ever been able to drill past the crust. Now you might think, well, why not? It's super thin compared to the other layers of the Earth. The crust is still several miles thick. And it would take a tremendous amount of manpower, machinery, and drill bits and pipe to get that far. All right, now we know magma exists. We see magma coming up from breaks in the crust. Volcanoes erupt magma, so we know that there must be molten rock beneath the crust. So the question is, why not just drill through to the mantle and see for ourselves what's down there? What is a realistic depth that humans could even go to, or create machinery or tools that could get into a layer with that much heat and pressure? So check out this video. We're actually going to watch this together. If I can get it to play.
Hello and welcome back to SourceFed. I'm Lee Newton.
I'm Joe Beretta.
Earth, the third planet from the sun, the largest of the terrestrial planets. The world. Home to millions of species. Its surface covered by continents, islands, saltwater oceans. But what of the center of the Earth, huh?
What accent are you using? That's not a real accent.
Yeah, it is, Joe. I want people to know what I'm saying is important, okay? I'm filling their minds with knowledge, okay? Documentary style. And I need them to pay attention. Everyone knows that things are more interesting when you say it in an accent, okay?
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, Paiche, morning for Junior.
Okay, no, I'm just going to continue on normal.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
Yeah. Okay, we know about the surface of the Earth, but what about the center, huh? Well, scientists are planning to drill all the way through the Earth's miles-thick crust in order to get to the deep, hot mantle and retrieve samples for the first time ever.
They're just going to drill to the mantle.
Mm-hmm.
Just to the mantle. That's hardly the center. It's not even close to the center of the Earth.
Joe, I don't know if you're realizing what a huge deal this is, okay? The samples that they would get from the mantle would have more scientific information than moon rocks, and they're insanely hard to acquire.
Mantle samples, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that the mantle is between the Earth's molten core and the Earth's crust, and that it's about 2,000 miles thick, and that the mantle contains a ton of Earth rocks. I also know that we don't really know much about those rocks, because they're all the way down in the mantle. Like, what if those rocks were really dragon eggs, all right? Just stick with me here, and we drill all the way down there, and we unleash them, and we unleash dragons into the world.
No, that's not gonna happen, okay? Look, the drilling process is super expensive, and this could take years. Plus, this hasn't happened yet because there's a lack of technology and a lack of understanding of the crust. And with this intense drilling, scientists would get to know what mantle is like and the nature of the mantle process. They get to know more about plate tectonics and what causes earthquakes and tsunamis and eruptions and so on and so forth.
The journey to the almost but not really center of the Earth is going to cost around $1 billion. $1 billion.
Yeah.
$1 billion?
Yeah.
B as in billions.
B as in billion.
Woo.
Yeah. I mean, geologists will start drilling the 3.7 miles beneath the sea floor, and they say it'll be like dangling a steel string the width of a human hair in the deep end of a swimming pool. And to get to the mantle, they'll have to slowly make their way through crazy hard rocks with 6.2-mile drilling pipes using drill bits that only last about 60 hours. Again, this could take forever, okay? But they say that it might be the most challenging endeavor in the history of Earth science.
Well, I say, yay Earth science, yay humans, but man, do they realize that they're about to spend $1 billion to release dragon eggs, or at the worst, release the Nazis that are hiding in the center of the Earth?
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah, they're there, Lee. They are there.
No.
It's science.
No.
It's science history.
No. So guys, what do you think is in the Earth's center? Let us know in the comment section down below.
And then please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the rising annotation.
Okay, so that's a pretty cool video. There are people that don't want you to drill to the mantle, that believe some of those crazy sci-fi ideas that there's, bad things down there. So Alfred Wegener didn't know anything really about layers of the Earth or the mantle. And we're getting very, very close to revealing a piece of evidence that really would have helped him make his case. Now, I'm going to provide for you a PDF of a picture of the Earth's layers with some information on what happens to temperature and pressure as you go through each of these layers. And your assignment for today is going to be creating a formal drawing of the Earth's layers. So let me go through the requirements for this, and then I'll show you a picture that's helpful from the text. So ideally, if we were in class, everybody would be drawing this on a piece of paper. And obviously, since you're not in class, if you draw at home, you're going to need to take a picture, upload it to Echo or to submit. And if you'd like, you can try to create a picture in Google Drawing, which is totally fine. You can definitely do that. But what you can't do is just copy and paste a picture from the web. This has to be a unique and original creation that you made. So you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. A two-dimensional, three-dimensional picture. A three-dimensional picture is kind of like a cutaway where it looks like it's a three-dimensional sphere with the layers. Or two-dimensional, which is just like flat on the paper. Here are the layers that you have to have labeled. Okay, so there's ocean crust and continent crust. There's an area just underneath the crust called the lithosphere. The asthenosphere is the top part of the mantle. Then we have the main mantle, the outer core, and the inner core. And in your picture, you're going to have to give information. So in addition to labeling it, you need to talk about contents if applicable, like if it's a solid or liquid, or if it's made up of, metals, which the cores are, temperature of this layer, if you know that, and the thickness. So how many kilometers thick? Not all layer will have all this info, but your idea is to just give as much information about each layer as you can. So normally I would require coloring. If you don't have coloring things at home and you want to draw, just maybe shade in the different layers. Google Drawing, you can make as many colors as you want. Crayons, colored pencils, that works great. In class, I never allowed tracing, and we always did our best work. So I'm going to show you what the book pages look like for reference. You can use these pages if you so choose, or you can just Google, layers of the Earth picture and, see what's out there if you find a picture that you think is pretty cool. These are the pictures that my students used last year because there's quite a bit of information. This is a PDF of the book. You'll have to zoom in to see more. This is what I would consider a three-dimensional picture. And then this is more of like a two-dimensional picture. I had some people just draw like a column of the Earth's layers last year. That's fine. The most important thing is that it's labeled and it's very informational. So this is kind of like a tool for you to study the layers of the Earth. Okay, so let's take a look in Echo and see where you're turning this in. So we're in benchmark 2. lesson 1. Okay. We are studying the layers of the Earth to help us potentially go back in time to help Alfred Wegener prove his theory of continental drift. This is where we start to learn about the Earth's interior layers. Here is a link to the text I just showed you. Here is the information we just looked at on the slides. You can submit a picture of your Inside Earth drawing right here. So I'm assigning this today. There's actually no new video lesson tomorrow, no new activity tomorrow. I want you to continue working on this because I really want you to do a good job on this. We'll call it a technical sketch, okay? So if you have any questions, let me know. I am not going to give you credit if you just turn in a picture that you found on the web. It has to be something that either you draw or that you create in Google Drawings. All right, so if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Next time we talk, we are going to take a special look at the convection currents of magma in the mantle, which really would have sealed the deal for Alfred Wegener had he known about it. So until then, we'll see.